Hey there, tech fans. Today I've got the brand new Orei UHD12-EX230-K HDMI splitter and extender kit. This product makes it really easy for you to share all of your media content from one location with two remote locations at the same time, up to 230 feet away, over a single Cat6 or Cat7 LAN cable to each of those locations. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant, which means it's plug and play compatible with a wide range of modern media gear. The transmitter features local loopback functionality, which allows you to continue to enjoy the content at the primary location while you're simultaneously sharing it with both of your remote locations. And the kit also includes a set of infrared blasters that will collect up the remote control signals from those secondary locations and pass those signals digitally back to the primary location where they're rebroadcast so you can control the content you're watching. And finally, the system employs the very latest in power over cable technology, which means a single power supply plugged in at the transmitter side is all you'll need to operate the entire solution, because the power required for the remote receivers is sent over that same LAN cable. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit. And then I'll take a closer look at the transmitter and the receiver modules, and I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use the kit. And then I'll come back one more time and point out a few things that really separate this HDMI splitter and extender kit from other products you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the transmitter module and two identical receiver modules. This is located at the primary side. These are located in both of your remote locations. You'll also find infrared blasters. Two of those are for the remote locations and one is for the primary location, and they're labeled. They look the same, but it's important you plug those into the correct modules. You'll find a single 12-volt 2-amp DC power supply. You can plug this end into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs into the back of the transmitter and provides all the power you'll need to operate the entire solution. You'll find a set of brackets you can use to mount these modules up off the ground and out of the way. And finally, a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really good information about this kit that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at both modules, and then I'll come back and point out some of the special features that this product provides. Inside the kit, you'll find a single sender module and a pair of receiver modules. The sender module is located at the primary site where the media content is you'd like to share, and the remote receivers are located at your secondary sites where you'd like to enjoy that content. All three of the modules feature full metal enclosures, which make them incredibly durable and a great choice for both residential or commercial installations. Let's start with the sender module first. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find mounting holes that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount the module up off the ground and out of the way. On the front of the module, starting on the left, is a reset button. You can hold that down for a few seconds to reset the module once power has been applied and you've turned it on. To the right of that is a power indicator. When you apply power and turn the module on, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics. Once it passes that test, it'll light that LED, letting you know the module's ready to use. On the rear of the module, starting on the left, is a DC input port, and that's used with the included power supply. You can simply plug that power supply into a wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there and provides all the power you'll need for the transmitter and the receiver modules. To the right of that is an infrared out port. That's a 3.5mm port that's used with one of the infrared blasters. Make sure you find the one that says transmitter and plug it in right there. To the right of that are two full-sized HDMI ports labeled HDMI in and HDMI out. The HDMI in port connects to whatever media device you'd like to share the content from with your two remote locations. The transmitter provides local loopback functionality, which allows you to continue to enjoy the content at the primary location that you're simultaneously sharing at the remote locations. And if you'd like to take advantage of that feature, you can connect the second HDMI cable from here to a local monitor to enjoy that content. Finally, to the right of that are two LAN ports labeled Out 1 and Out 2. This is where one end of the Cat6 or Cat7 cable between the sender module and the receiver modules plug in. The receiver modules are identical. They're metal enclosures, mounting holes on both sides. On the one end, you'll find a reset button. Again, you can hold that down for a few seconds once power has been applied to reset the module. In the center, you'll find another LAN port, and that's where the other end of the Cat6 or Cat7 cable from the sender module plugs in. To the right of that is another power indicator. Same thing here, once you connect the LAN cable and power up the sender, the power required for this module is sent over that LAN cable, and this starts an internal power on self-test and will light that LED once it's ready to use. On the other end, you'll find another DC port. Now you won't need to use that because of the power over cable technology. To the right of that is an HDMI port labeled HDMI out. You'll connect this to a local monitor that you'd like to use to enjoy the content. And finally, to the right of that is another 3.5mm port labeled infrared in. That's where the infrared blaster at the remote location plugs in. That'll collect up those remote control signals to be sent back to the primary location. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHD12-EX230-K HDMI splitter and extender kit with other products you may be considering. The first thing is the fact that this single product is really two products in one. It's an HDMI splitter and it's an HDMI extender. And that's important because other products on the market may be HDMI splitters or an HDMI extender, but they can't do both functions in one product. So with this unit, you can take a single HDMI media stream from a computer or a game console or a DVD player and share that remotely with two locations up to 230 feet away. Another big difference is the fact that this kit fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content, which is really high resolution. A lot of other kits on the market may only support a lower resolution like 1080p, or if they support 4K at all, it may only be 30 frames per second. So knowing you've got a kit that can handle a higher resolution at the higher frame rate means you're going to have a beautiful crystal clear picture at those remote locations. The two standards that are certified on this product are important as well, the HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2. And the reason those are important is because the HDMI standard has gone through a lot of changes in recent years. There have been a lot of new features introduced, and knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDMI for 4K content means you can immediately take advantage of all those features. And the HDCP certification is equally important because that controls copy protection. So again, knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDCP means you can play a wider variety of files with the system. Another big difference is the inclusion of the infrared blasters, which again provides complete remote control from both of those remote locations. The transmitter provides local loopback functionality, which allows you to continue to enjoy the content at your primary location while you're sharing it with the remote locations. And finally, the power over cable technology greatly simplifies your wiring because a single power supply is all you'll need to operate the entire solution. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, stay nerdy.